I feel sad and insecure, too.
Do you always feel that way?
No, there are also times when I feel happy.
Does uncertainty bother you?
I don't understand.
I mean, how do you deal with uncertainties in your life?
Well, I have an anecdote that could answer that.
I'd like to hear it.
Okay. About a year ago, on a Sunday morning as I recall, I went to my favorite cafe for a morning of relaxed coffee drinking and newspaper reading. I was carrying a copy of my favorite paper and a packet of my favorite crackers. You see, it was one of my habits to go down to the cafe to read the newspaper, drink coffee, and eat my crackers. Well, I got to the cafe, and I saw that all the tables were filled, except for one that only had one person. So, being that I had my heart set on a relaxing Sunday, I did the only sensible thing there was to do. I asked the man if I could share his table. He said it was all right, so I sat down with my crackers and my newspaper and started to enjoy myself. A few blissful minutes went by, and then I heard the most unexpected sound, that of rustling plastic, like a package being opened. And sure enough, the young man was casually eating one of my crackers. He had deliberately opened the package and taken one of them without asking.
What did you do?
I was calm. I believe myself to be a forgiving soul. So I wanted to show the guy, in a subtle way, without embarrassing him, that the crackers were mine. The best way, I thought, was to take a cracker and deliberately, but subtly, eat it in plain view. I checked the man's expression, and it seemed to me he was apologizing without words. He even smiled at me. This made me happy because I realized that the matter was settled and that I spared the guy a lot of embarrassment. It was only a few minutes later that I realized how wrong I'd been, because I again heard that familiar plastic sound. The man had taken yet another cracker and was eating it without a shred of concern.
How did you react this time?
Well, this time I was a little bit more angry, but I still wanted to handle the situation properly. I thought that getting too upset would get me nowhere. And even though I wanted to say something mean, I held back. I didn't really understand why he ate a second cracker, but I was somehow going to let him know they were mine. Again, I took a cracker and ate it. Now, this time his reaction was a little different. He tried to ignore that I had showed him who was boss, and only glanced up for a second with an annoyed look in his eye. And the fact that he was embarrassed didn't bother me. At least he got the message. Well, that's what I thought. Not more than a minute went by when he was at it again. He took a third cracker.
Did you say anything that time?
No. Sure, I was angry and I wanted to say something, but I didn't allow myself to get carried away in the moment. I thought about it rationally, calmed myself down, and realized that I just had to give the guy one last hint. So I picked up the sixth and last cracker and ate it more deliberately than before, making sure that I looked him straight in the eyes. This time I could tell he was really ashamed, because when he realized his mistake, he had to leave as soon as possible. He didn't apologize as he left, but I realized just how bad he must have felt.
That's a good story.
Oh, but there's more. Because after a few minutes, I finished my coffee, got ready to go, and guess what I found underneath the folds of my newspaper?
What?
His crackers.
Evidently, he had lost them under the folds of our papers, but thought that the ones we had been eating were his, when they were really my crackers all along. So, you see, he was upset about nothing.
Yep. I learned quite a bit that day. Does that help you, James?
Sure does, Dr. Smithers. I just hope I can stay that calm when I'm in a situation like that. Probably would have hit the guy.
Now, James, we've already discussed that violence leads nowhere. You'll have to master your temper, like I have. And someday, with help from me, you'll make it. All right, enough about my mastery of emotions. How was your week?
Well, I got into another fight with my girlfriend. She thinks I'm cheating on her, but there's no way I'd do that. I mean, I really love her. And I told her, but she's really jealous, and she thinks I'm cheating on her if I even talk to another girl. I don't know, maybe if I spent more time with her, took her to the aquarium or car show,